In the first 15 seconds, understand this. How Machiavelli would outsmart everyone, his 10 most important lessons to be outsmart. But this is not about a man from history. This is about a pattern that still runs your life today. Because the real question is not how to be powerful. The real question is, why do intelligent people still get outplayed in jobs, relationships, and social life by people who seem less capable? Something invisible is happening beneath modern life, and Machiavelli simply named it. There is a hidden structure in human behavior, and once you see it, you cannot unsee it. Every smile becomes a signal. Every promise becomes strategy. Every silence becomes information. So the question is not whether you are smart. The question is, are you seeing what people are actually doing, or only what they want you to see? Because most people are not defeated by stronger minds. They are defeated by predictable minds. And that is where Machiavelli begins. He starts with an uncomfortable truth. People do not act from logic. They act from desire, fear, and self-preservation. Not sometimes. Always. And the moment you forget that, you stop playing reality and start playing illusion. That is lesson 1. Never confuse appearance with intention. What someone shows you is never the full story. It is only what benefits them. And in modern life, this illusion is everywhere. Social media is not connection. It is positioning. Corporate meetings are not truth. They are performance. Even friendships sometimes become quiet negotiations of status and attention. And yet, we still believe what we see first. That is how people are outsmarted. Not through lies, but through selective truth. Machiavelli would not tell you to distrust everyone. He would tell you something more dangerous. Understand that everyone is already managing perception, so you must learn to see behind it. Now the second lesson cuts deeper. Human loyalty is fragile when tested by inconvenience. People stay with you until it costs them something. Respect, comfort, status, opportunity. So Machiavelli would ask, if someone only supports you when it is easy, is that loyalty or access? And in modern life, this appears in subtle ways. The friend who disappears when you struggle. The colleague who supports you only when you are winning. The relationships that feel strong until pressure arrives. Nothing is exposed by success. Everything is exposed by pressure. And so power is not built on who praises you. It is built on who remains when there is nothing to gain. Now the third lesson is quieter, but more dangerous. Control perception, or someone else will define you. Because once a story about you is accepted, even if it is false, it becomes easier to believe than truth. Machiavelli understood something modern psychology now confirms. People remember narratives, not facts. So if you do not shape your narrative, you inherit one. And in today's world, one misunderstanding can travel faster than truth ever will. A clipped message, a half story, a single moment without context, and suddenly, you are not who you are. You are who people think you are. So the question becomes, are you living your identity or defending it? Now fourth, decisive action creates authority. Hesitation creates doubt, not only in others, but in yourself. Because when you delay action too long, you begin to lose belief in your own judgment. Machiavelli would say power belongs to those who act before certainty arrives. Not recklessly, but decisively. And modern life punishes the opposite. Overthinking, endless comparison, infinite options. People mistake preparation for progress. But life responds only to movement, not intention. Now fifth, be both fox and lion. The lion cannot see traps. The fox cannot fight wolves. So intelligence alone is not enough. Strength alone is not enough. Survival belongs to those who know when to be visible and when to be invisible. When to speak, and when silence becomes strategy. In a world of constant exposure, the most powerful position is controlled visibility. Now sixth, avoid being hated. Not disliked, hated. Because dislike can be managed. But hatred becomes permanent resistance. And in modern terms, this is emotional debt. Once people associate you with emotional harm, logic stops working. Now seventh, timing is power. The same action, taken too early, becomes weakness. Too late becomes irrelevant. Machiavelli would not ask, what should you do? He would ask, when does it matter most? Because timing turns average actions into dominance. Now eighth, people follow outcomes more than intentions. You may be right, you may be fair, but if results do not appear, perception shifts. Not because truth changed, but because attention did. Now ninth. Your network shapes your ceiling, not your talent, because proximity changes opportunity. And in every system, access quietly defines advantage. Now 10th. Never reveal your full strategy. Not because secrecy is evil, but because full visibility removes leverage. What is predictable becomes controllable, and what is controllable is already half defeated. So here is the unsettling realization. Machiavelli was not teaching manipulation. He was describing exposure. A world where intentions are layered, where truth is partial, where survival depends on reading what is unsaid. And now, modern life mirrors this more than ever. We live in constant visibility, but decreasing understanding. We see everything, and understand less. So the real power is not domination, it is perception clarity. To see what others miss, while they are distracted by what is shown. And maybe the final question is not how Machiavelli would outsmart everyone, but whether you are still participating in a world where being nice, honest, or visible is enough to protect you from those who understand how perception actually works. Because once you see the structure beneath behavior, you stop reacting and start recognizing. And in that moment, you are no longer easily positioned by others. You begin to see positioning itself. And that changes everything. If this perspective made you question the way people behave around you, then you are already seeing a little more clearly than before. And sometimes, that is where real intelligence begins.